Hi, my name is T, and today I just want to show you a very small application on how you could use a graph database. And before I do so, I just wanted to show you in Excel that I prepared a list trying to explain to, let's say, people who don't know what I'm doing, what kind of things we have based on 3 dimensions, which is basically, let's say, tools, platforms, projects, a little bit from the financial view, and then on topics. So for example, if I just see what kind of tools we are driving, you can see the title of the different projects, who is responsible for it, and what kind of maturity stage we are. And if you look at it, for, let's say, from a financial standpoint, you can really see what different things are provided by which kind of organization, how is the charging model, and you can see that we have topics which are based on SLAs. We can see we have direct personal cost, and so this would be a financial view, and I just basically for confidential purposes just put out all these values, but you would see basically values here otherwise. And then third of all, just in a flat way, we can also see just all the different kind of topics we have. And then of course, you know that for different topics, different people are involved. So for example, let's say that I'm leaving, then you could actually just type in the filter, for example, my name T, and then immediately you would see where I am involved. Yeah, of course, it doesn't mean whether it's 100% or 10%, but this is just a very nice Excel to basically explain to anyone who wants to learn a little bit more about this kind of team I lead, what we are doing. Okay, so what we have done is to then put all of this into a graph database, and I don't need to go in all to the details that I've now installed a web server and created a Neo4j database, which by the way looks like this. And but you can see by the different kind of colors, you have different so-called nodes. So you have topics, employees, tools, departments, and then you can see by the arrows how they relate. But since this is a little bit too cumbersome for non-technical people because there's a specific programming language called Cypher to it, we have built a small Mendix application to visualize it and to also interact with the data in a little bit easier way. So here, if we are now on Mendix, and you can see it runs on my local host, basically my desktop, my laptop at the moment. Again, I can also show basically this data in a graph via this Mendix environment, and you can see that is basically the same representation as we just had earlier in the Neo4j desktop. But again, this is just a view on how the data are. Let's actually just use one simple use case and see the employee impact. So for example, if I want to know what are the relationships in terms of different topics, projects, or departments, then I can, for example, just click on T, and then you would basically select T, which is the blue, no T in the middle, and then you can see which other topics are related to it. Again, this is very scrappy. It is not finalized, but it's just to give you an insight on how a graph could be used. So you can see here, just like in the Excel, where I would be involved. But as you can see here, I had to create that Excel in a very manual way to write down all the topics from above at the same time to basically write each line one by one. And if you can imagine this doing with a database of millions and millions of records and billions of different relationships, this would be a very nice way to actually see how the relationships are. Thanks for listening in.